The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. Things you didn't know you needed to know today. It's News-ish with Betty.
Question, do either of y'all put Christmas lights on your house, like
Yes.
outside?
Yeah, we do.
No.
I tend to wait till the last possible minute when my wife looks sad when we come home and she's like, oh, all the other neighbors have their lights on. And so then I buckle down and do it.
Do you have that one neighbor, though, that seems to put the lights out really early?
Yeah, and it's the ironic thing is it's the crazy Halloween people that have the 4 giant skeletons. They've started going big on Christmas. They turn their Halloween thing a few days after Halloween and put Christmas up now.
You need to look out for those neighbors.
I've always thought
watch
that.
your back with them.
Always thought
because
that too.
I found this article that claims, one psychologist claims that if you have someone in your neighborhood that puts up their lights, Christmas lights, too early, it could be a sign of narcissism.
Really?
Yes.
I am fascinated by this.
So-
As a narcissist who does not put his lights up, tell me more.
Well, narcissism is when a person gets a sense of satisfaction from being the center of attention.
Got it.
Okay, so this is from a psychologist who wrote a book called 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do, okay?
Oh.
So they're legit, but they said far more people are self-centered in nature than we can estimate. So that means a lot of us are keeping our narcissism quiet.
Hidden, yeah.
Hidden. But mainly the reason that they think that narcissism is shown through putting your lights up early is because you're trying to either show off your home
Okay.
or you're trying to paint a picture of the perfect family. Like so you're trying to hide what's on the inside by putting up this beautiful picture on the outside. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And it makes me more skeptical of like people now, like my friend Paul, who has a giant
That's
light
right.
display. Yeah, and he
He's
does it every year.
computerized and everything.
And I go to lunch with him every Sunday after church, but don't think there's not going to be some questions. I'm going to side-eye him and ask some real tough questions about his family now.
That will be if he lets you lets you ask him questions because he wants to be the center of attention. He might be like, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the good things about me.
Yeah,
so
that
the other
is
day,
okay. Well, there you go. That's another way to size up some of the people in your neighborhood and be a little judgy. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there
Yay.
you go. Uplifting WayFM. This is the Wally Show, and Gavin came in today with a declaration kind of thing. He was kind of getting us caught up on his life and some things that have been going on. And this kid has been down in it for quite some time. I don't even want to say it started with the car accident, but that was a big thing when your car flipped over.
Well, it's just been, there's been a lot of stuff that's happened this year, whether it is that car accident, which was a horrific car accident, to both my dogs getting skunked in the backyard, to
and then sick of the dogs.
and then a vet ER, all this stuff. And then on top of that, I got like a mice issue at the house. And so there's just been...
Those are the little things. He's burying the lead. Yeah, like right now I think you're whining at this point outside of the car accident.
And then baby health stuff going on.
Yeah, so he has
right
a
now.
baby. He has a baby, so that's a big deal. But then Bennett has an issue that they can't get rectified, and it's a lot, and it's heavy, and it worries you, and it weighs on you, and rightfully so. And you're trying to balance out life and work and your child's illness and getting that fixed.
And then, but with all of that happening, I think it'd be very easy to come in and just be the a Debbie Downer type
for sure.
person.
Yeah, exactly. That's you don't want to be that, obviously.
No, and it was interesting because I don't want to be that type of person, but I found this lyric in a song that really resonated with me. It said, I play the victim like it's tradition. And I read that, or I heard that. I was like, I don't want to walk into a place and people see me and be like, there's that guy who is always playing the victim card.
And I love that you're
talking
okay
about it.
with, being honest about listening to Taylor Swift. I think that's pretty great.
I do.
That's not Taylor Swift.
No,
though.
it's not
Oh,
Taylor
okay.
Swift. No.
All right.
To confirm.
Feels like it. And so, yeah, but I mean, that's a good mentality to have. But it's kind of weird, though, too, because you want to be able to share your life with people. And, we want to know what's going on with you. And we're concerned about Bennett's health and having to possibly have a surgery and all this stuff. And so it's good to know what's going on, so that if you are a little frazzled at work, we go, okay, it's this. And so that's a good thing. So you can't be afraid to share your life with the people in your life, but I totally understand not wanting to be that guy that, woe is me, everything is wrong, when you walk in a room.
Well, and I think so that it's very, it says a lot about your character that you put that at the front.
That's
it's
true.
That typically, I would say, a lot of people want attention, whether that is negative or positive. And if it is negative, they can deal out that victim card mentality constantly and try and constantly one-up you on, like you're saying, oh, I had some bad fast food last night, and they're like, well, at least you can eat.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, oh, sorry. Okay.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, too, that's a good point, is that his concern is for other people and how
Still,
he doesn't want to upset them,
Right.
kind of thing. So that's good. That's admirable. That's really great.
Appreciate it.
So here's what I want to do. I want to talk about this. That line in a song landed with you, and it comes with some clarity and an epiphany for you. And so what is that line in a song that's landed with you? Sometimes it's one verse, and it's like, oh, that gets me, it explains me, or it alters me, and it makes me decide to do something different. So that's what we want to talk about right now. 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. We love having you on the show, and we'd love to get your take on this. That line from a song that landed with you. Was there a song line that landed with you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this radio station has done so much for me, but this one in particular, your world's not falling apart, it's falling into place.
Oh, I believe that's a Casting Crowns song, isn't it?
I think so, but I've been through a lot, and at the time I heard that song for the first time, it's one of those songs where you just kind of break down because you feel seen, and you're just like, it's going to be okay, even though right now this feels nothing like what okay should feel like.
Yeah, and it is a good twist of perspective because, when the chaos of life hits, you think it's all falling apart. But if you have true faith in God and you trust God, then theoretically things should be coming together, and even though it doesn't feel good, it is for some good. That's what the Bible talks about in Romans.
it ends up that is a Casting Crowns song. It's called Just Be Held.
Yeah, and I love that Betty Rock did not do this for your sake, Greg, so that you would know what song it was, so you could Google it, put it in your playlist. She did it just to see if I was wrong.
When you're on your knees and answers seem so far away, you're not alone, stop holding on and just be held. Your world's not falling apart, it's falling into place. I'm on the throne, stop holding on and just be held.
So what is a line from a song that landed with you, Tommy?
The line was, "It's Who I Am," and it's from the Chris Tomlin song. I was listening to it Sunday in church, and I've heard that song 100 times. You're a good, good father. It's who I am. It just resonated me for the first time that's more important than anything in this world. It's who I am. I'm a child of God.
Well, and I think, too, with that line, it's telling us who we are, how we can see ourselves, because sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. And if we can keep reminding ourselves or seeing ourselves the way God sees us, man, it can change our whole lives for the better.
Here's a little bit of the song Tommy's talking about. It's Good, Good Father, and how it landed differently with him. And maybe this is that thing that you hear it differently today because of his perspective on it.
Fresh emails.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. If you ever want to get a hold of me, very easy. Just wally@wayfm.com. That's my email. It's the one all my friends have. This is an update we have Betty Rock name cats. Like, people will send a picture of a cat and they're like, hey, will you use your God-given gift to name this cat for me? And she looks at it, 2 seconds, has a cat name. And there was this one sent in by Cashel, and this cat had piercing blue eyes. I mean, it was just haunting. And it was beautiful.
Precious.
Yeah. And Betty Rock came up with the name Derek for Derek Zoolander. And I thought it was so good. Well, I got an email back from them. They loved it.
Oh, yay!
They did. Cashel and his family loved the name. They're going to go, they did a derivative of what you would come up with because you went with Derek Zoolander, and they're calling him Lander.
Lander.
that's,
okay.
yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Derek was a great name for a cat, too. Like, either
But
way.
maybe they know a Derek that kind of left them
Good point.
with a negative taste in their mouth.
That's
Yeah.
probably it. So Lander is the cat name. Nicely done, Rock. Thank you
Yay!
for using your God-given gifts for the show. I know you guys like make fun of my kidney stones and stuff all the time. It's very hard to find compassion around here. But that's why I'm thankful for Teresa. She's one of our potties. She listens to the podcast that we have. You can get for free by texting the letters TEWS.
That
to
was
91979.
TWS. That stands for The Wally Show to 9197.
I ran out of air there. And so...
Is it the kidneys?
Yeah. I'm having some kidney twinges, so I'd gone to the doctor. Twinges, yeah. I'm used to them, like it's just my lot in life. And so I'm like, hey, can I get some pain medicine in case it hits me while I'm on a flight? Because I'm going to, like, Iceland, and, like, I don't want to divert a plane. And so I was asking for, like, some drugs for pain. And he was like, oh, yeah, here, take this. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't work. And, yeah, it doesn't. It like, this hydrocodone does not work. And
It's
so
supposed to. It's supposed to be
Teresa
good.
said, you're right, hydrocodone does not have any effect on my kidney stones either. See? I'm not crazy. I'm not drug-seeking. She said, I had a kidney stone when I was 7+ months pregnant, so heavy drugs were out. On a positive note, it threw me into premature labor, and they gave me an epidural, which took care of the kidney pains and the labor pains.
So you just need an epidural.
That's all I need. Yeah. Do they have a take-home kit like I could do
for a
on a
flight.
plane? Yeah, that'd be great. But I will say this again. You guys make fun of me. After 5 kidney stones and 2 deliveries, I speak with authority, said Teresa. Kidney stones are way worse than labor.
Wow.
I have
From a woman.
always felt that. But I've never said that to a woman. But now a woman saying that, it carries a little bit more
And now
weight.
we'll never hear the end of it.
Never. It's like I have birthed many children.
Oh, my word.
In this
See,
analogy.
it's already starting.
I know, but you don't know, Rock. You've never been through it, okay?
Thank God.
Yeah. All right. So if you ever want to email me, it's just wally@wayfm.com.
Hey, Wally, do you have a minute?
Sorry, busy.
I have cake.
Oh, what do you need?
Yeah, see, that's a perfect example of even though we are busy, we make time for what's important.
Yeah, because going back to school as an adult, you're busy with work, you've got family, but if you want to make your education a priority, trust me, you can do it. Betty did.
Like when I first started, I was super intimidated because it had been a while since I've been in school. But I mean, from the very first conversation, I felt like they were setting me up for success.
Yeah, and going back to school with CCU's flexible online courses makes it so convenient.
Yeah, and what's so cool is every class has a biblical worldview perspective. And so you think, well, how can they turn math into a biblical worldview? They find a way.
Yeah, and that was one of my jobs when I was teaching at CCU, was integrating not just the facts and figures of things, but how your faith plays into what you're going to do.
CCU offers Christ-centered higher education, transforming students to impact the world with grace and truth.
Cultivate your mind without compromising your heart. Get started today at online.ccu.edu. Colorado Christian University is a non-profit impact partner.
Things you didn't know you needed to know today. It's News-ish with Wally.
So Black Friday is right around the corner, but Amazon is getting a head start by putting up some deals early. And you are not going to want to miss some of these deals, especially if you have a guy on your list that is hard to buy for. Like, so a Bluetooth speaker, 66% off. A 23andMe DNA kit test. I think those things are interesting, but be careful. Because sometimes you got to be willing to find out stuff you didn't want to know.
Right, family secrets that have been long hidden.
Yeah, that's kind of a mess. So maybe scratch that one off. But like, ladies, if you're looking for the perfect gift for your guy, because women always say guys are so hard to buy for. You're so hard to buy
They
for.
are.
You
I
think?
mean, it's not that you're hard to buy for. It's that you are too expensive to buy for.
Okay, well, let me throw out a couple options here. DJI has a gimbal for smartphones, so it keeps your phone steady so you can take videos and it doesn't bounce all around like a Steadicam. $89. So that's a good gift. What do you mean, golly?
That's $90.
We're
for one
worth
person?
that. Yes, we're worth that, Rock. Okay, well, it's going to get worse then. Smokeless fire pit, $245.
I want one of those.
See?
$245.
Have you bought my Christmas present?
Yeah, like your
Yes.
dad's not worth that yet?
And my dad is,
Yeah, okay.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, I have guys on my list, you and Gavin.
Right, and
And
we're
I'm not
not-
about to spend $250 on both of you.
Appreciate your honesty.
That's $500.
Okay, well, I'm going to return some of Betty Rock's gifts
Oh, my word.
that I got her already. An 85-inch TV, because you cannot have a big enough TV.
man.
85-inch, it's $1,800, which I know sounds like a lot, but
What's the deal?
it's on sale from $3,100.
Oh,
So think how much you just saved. You should girl math this.
No,
think how
I'm
much
not.
money you just saved.
That's
a lot
good
of
math.
money.
That's ridiculous.
All right, too expensive. I feel you, Rock. I get you. That's why I came up with this one. And this is one that every guy will appreciate and always remember and love you forever for. Night vision goggles.
Oh, bye.
Yes, right? Night
to
vision
have.
goggles.
What do you
No,
need that for?
What don't you need night vision goggles for? Every guy has always wanted a pair of night vision goggles. You
What are you
watch
gonna
all
do
the
with them?
I don't even know.
How much are they?
$169, $169.
Oh,
But they
my
were $600.
goodness.
They're military rated.
No, absolutely
Rock,
not.
I'm worth
So
it.
cool.
Absolutely not.
Can you imagine how happy Gavin and I would be if, like, we opened up a present from you on Christmas and it was night vision goggles and we're like, bro,
Listen.
she got us night vision goggles.
Listen, I spent $30 each on both of you, okay?
Are you kidding me?
So I'm $60 in. You will love it, whether you love it or not. You will love what I got you, okay?
Okay, well, the shipping
Deal
for
with
yours
it.
alone was $30. Like, unbelievable.
Well,
Okay.
because I'm worth it.
You are worth it. That's absolutely right. Ugh.
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me right now?
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and this is one of my favorite things that we do. It's called Are You Kidding Me? Where we just talk to kids about life stuff, okay? So if you're a kid, if you need to get your parents' permission to call on this, please do that, but we want to hear your thoughts, okay? So now Betty Rock had a friend and her daughter come over, and Evelyn watches your cat normally, right?
Yes. So Evelyn is my friend's daughter. She's 6 years old, and she loves cats. And she doesn't have a cat of her own, so she would come and check on my boys for
How
me.
great is
And
it,
she
too?
loved it.
Like, she looks up to you. She's like, oh, my gosh, one day I'm going to have 40 cats, too. And
It's two cats. Anyways, so the other day, Evelyn was so excited because she got herself a kitten.
Oh,
no
nice.
way.
Dad finally said yes, and so they went and adopted a kitten together. Now, it's a white kitten, precious, so sweet, has the greatest disposition, and they gave Evelyn the responsibility of naming the cat.
Wow, that spoke volumes.
That's
Miss Betty, it's great how your cats are your kids.
Listen, it's all I have. Anyway, so she decided to name this kitten Everest Violet.
I love it.
That's a great name.
Because it's a white cat.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes sense, but also it sounds like a kid
Named a
name.
cat.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're like, that doesn't really flow together.
I love it.
But
Call her Evie.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna do that, or they're gonna. It was Everest. It was. I think they were gonna go with Evie.
Evie.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Because E for Everest,
Right.
but then V for
'Cause
Violet.
she'll have her
So
Christian name and-
Evie.
Yeah.
Right, she'll have her Christian name. Exactly.
Well, I think that's super creative, and that's what I love. Kids are so creative, and sometimes, like my neighbors next door to me, they went to their oldest daughter was like 5 at the time. They were having another child, and they're like, "Hey, you can name her," because they wanted her to be involved with it. And yeah, and so their daughter named their other daughter Heartflower Baby Bunger.
I hope they didn't go with that.
No, they went with it. It's
Bunger
great.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Heartflower Baby Bunger. So if you're a kid right now, Betty Rock wants to know what the name of your pet is and why you named it like that. What's
Yeah.
the story behind it?
If you were given the responsibility, like my friend Evelyn was given, of naming your own pet, what was the name that you came up with, and how did you get the inspiration for it? Where did it come from?
All right, so that's the story we want from you right now. Again, if you need to ask your parents to call, please do that. But right now, only kids can call. 855 855-833-WAY-FM. Have your mom and dad help you if you need to. 855-33-WAY-FM. And tell us why you named your pet the name that you did. What's the story? We'll take yours now. So first of all, Addison, how old are you?
5.
5? Okay. Now, what kind of pet do you have?
Pit bull.
You have a pit bull?
Yes.
Okay, what did you name your pit bull, Addison?
Marshall.
You named him Marshall. That's a good pit bull name.
Yeah, that is a good name. Now, where did you get that name from?
Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol.
Oh,
yes.
That makes so much
I
sense.
see. Why did you choose Marshall? Because there are other characters. What made you choose Marshall?
Because he's got black and white spots.
Because he's got black and white spots. That makes sense. Well, that's a better name than Chomp, too, for a pit bull. So nicely done there. I love it. Marshall, Addison, thank you.
Bye. Bye.
All right, Addison, so what is your pet's name and how did you come up with it?
I named my dog Elizabeth because I like the royal family.
Oh, you do? Okay, so you're a big fan of the Royals. How old are you, Madison?
Yeah, 11.
Now, do you keep up with the royal family?
Yeah.
If you ever got a boy dog that didn't get along with the other people in your family, would you name it Harry?
I guess.
That's a joke for the parents, Madison, I guess. What is the name you gave your pet and why?
So when I was younger, I had a pet fish, and I named it Puppy because my dad wouldn't let me get a dog.
Oh my gosh. You are possibly the funniest kid I've ever met. Like, I loved it, that like subtle jab at your dad for not letting you get a dog, so you're going to name your goldfish Puppy. That is ingenious.
What did your dad think about that name?
He thought it was funny.
Did you ever get a puppy?
No.
Oh, that's so sad. Do you still have Puppy the goldfish?
No.
Oh, that's sadder.
But when
Okay.
you grow up, you can get your own puppy, and then you can name that puppy Fish.
Yeah,
Well, there you go, Tate. I'm glad you called today, man. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
I will.
So what is TikTok and how do you use it?
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and every once in a while you find like spiritual things in an unlikely source, and that's TikTok for me. I came across this guy who was talking about some of the last words of Jesus on the cross, and he brought up something I had never heard before. And if you've been a Christian for a while, it's so easy to think, I've heard all this, there's nothing new for me, but this was something that I hadn't heard and I found like interesting.
So the question Christians usually get asked is, why would Jesus on the cross, when he's being crucified, say out loud, my God, why have you forsaken me? If Jesus is God, why would Jesus say that? Well, Jesus was quoting scripture. Yep, get ready. This is Psalm 22. Listen to this. The first line, my God, why have you forsaken me? Sound familiar? I'm not going to read the whole of Psalm 22. I want you guys to go away and read it in your Bible. But the prophecy in this psalm alone is unbelievable. Let me read one example. A company of evildoers encircles me. They have pierced my hands and feet. I'm getting goosebumps. I can count all my bones. They stare and gloat over me. They divide my garments among them, and for my clothing they cast lots. Guys, Jesus was quoting scripture on the cross. I genuinely got goosebumps.
Yeah, I have never heard that before, so I did a little bit of a deep dive on it too, and I started looking up that scripture, and the psalm was from David, and it's a symbolic way that David was feeling, and it serves as a prophetic explanation of what would happen to the promised one, which was Jesus. And so I'm wondering, did David know this at the time? Like, was David just lamenting like he does? And he was very dramatic, David. Was he being like super dramatic, or was this something that God had put on him and he's just writing down his thoughts? And it was the prophecy of how the crucifixion of Jesus would go. I mean, it's crazy though too, because Jesus was crucified approximately 1,000 years after King David's reign to fulfill this prophecy. So think about that too, like in the waiting that you might have for something, right now that you have going on in your life, and you're praying, God, I need this, or I want this, or can you help with this? And you're waiting, and it feels like God's taking forever to fulfill something. God's timing is not ours. I think that was a big takeaway for me that landed. It's like he took 1,000 years to fulfill a prophecy that maybe David was thinking was tomorrow, but it took 1,000 years. And so in that waiting, it can be frustrating, but that's where you still want to draw close to God in that waiting versus pushing him away, because he is there and he does come through. So there you go. Something I picked up from TikTok. Go figure.
Never knew.
Over 20 million fans have made Trans-Siberian Orchestra their holiday tradition. Bring the whole family and make it part of yours. The Lost Christmas Eve, returning to the stage for the first time in over 10 years. Coming to a city near you. Go to tsotickets.com for show dates and tickets. Don't miss the all-new show. Soaring guitars, dazzling lasers, and enough pyro to keep you warm all season. Coming to a city near you. Go to tsotickets.com for show dates and tickets. The Lost Christmas Eve, live in concert.
He's kind of smart.
Guys have underestimated me my entire life.
Sorry, read that wrong. He's kind and smart. It's News-ish with Gavin.
When I think of vacation, I purely picture, at least for me personally, like sitting on a beach, total relaxation. But one term is kind of popping up recently that's sort of putting a real spin on vacation, and the phrase is called Skill-cation.
Ooh, I love the sound of this.
And so what Skill-cation is that you go on a trip, you go on your quote-unquote vacation, but you dedicate a lot of that trip towards learning a new skill, learning a new vocation.
Absolutely.
No, vacations are not meant for you to accomplish something.
Why?
You're not supposed to have like a list that you need to mark things off. It's the complete opposite of that. Vacation is meant to relax you and keep you at peace.
Why not better yourself on vacation? My buddy and I, we were going to do a vacation where we went for 4 days and went to the Trek bicycle manufacturing plant and got Trek certified to work on bikes. Like, I'm like, that'd be fun, man. Like, that's a great 4 days. Like, that's better to me than sitting on a beach.
It's definitely the kind of thing that I think, obviously, you pick and choose what you want to do with your time. It sounds perfect for you, but then I saw another term here is called Sleep-cation.
Oh, that's better.
Which is the art of just taking time to rest on your vacation, which is, like, that's what I would prefer. But they listed stuff like, going to Italy and learning how to cook from, Italian chefs.
Absolutely.
Just doing stuff like that.
Those excursions that you can plan on vacations are so great. Like, I had a friend of mine that was here the other day that loves hats. And he was like, yeah, there's this thing where you can pay money and learn how to make hats. And when you walk out of there, like in 2 days or 3 days, you have like 2 really nice hats, like custom hats. I'm like, that's awesome. Sign me up. I don't even wear hats. But it's like, I like to learn things,
You would be a nightmare to vacation with.
Oh, yeah.
I would not be able to handle it.
Oh, yeah, you and I could not vacation together because it's a miracle we can work together.
Right?
Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. And there was this mom of 3 coming home from a morning walk with her kids when a stranger's words brought her to tears, and not in a bad way. So this 33-year-old lady said she felt compelled to share what this person said to her. She posted it on her TikTok, 836,000 views. So it kind of blew up on her. But in the video, this mom is talking about this stranger was an elderly man, stopped her as she's got all of her kids. And he looked at her and he said, wow, you're going to have a lot of fun. And it was just a different perspective than what you normally hear. Like in her video, she said, I don't know why I'm getting emotional about this, but most people say like, oh, you've got your hands full. And that's my biggest pet peeve. But he was so sweet. I could see like all the memories flashing through his eyes. And it was the sweetest message I think I needed to hear. And clearly other moms do too. Like that perspective shift of, sure, it's going to be crazy, but man alive, you are going to be creating a lot of memories and you're going to be having a lot of fun in this. And so I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And the fact that it came from a stranger and it landed with her, you just never know, what's going to land with you. Mm-hmm. And this landed with her. She posted this, and so a bunch of other moms commented, and one other mom said she got that same perspective shift. She said, my only son is 7 months old, and I can't have any more kids due to life-threatening complications at birth. And the other day, a man said to me, oh, he gets to have you all to himself. Isn't that cool? And so, again, flipping that perspective of what you think was going to be bad ended up being something that was a positive spin on it, you know?
Yeah.
And so
I think it's a good reminder for most of us that when we see a stranger that looks like they're overwhelmed or maybe not having a good day, it's an opportunity for us to turn that day around, and it could be something as simple as just bringing a positive perspective to things.
Speak a little life into them. So here's what I want to talk about with you. As a mom, because these ladies were all moms, and as a mom, what is that thing that you need to hear? You know, kind of thing. Like, sometimes it just you're doing a good job, or you're enough. You know, because sometimes, especially like single moms, doubt that they're doing everything they can, which they're doing more than they are able to sometimes. You know, and stuff. So I'm just curious for you, after hearing a little bit of this, what is that thing as a mom that you think you need to hear? 855-33-WAY-FM is the number. That's 855-33-WAY-FM, and we'll take yours right now. So as a mom, what do you think that thing, Rochelle, is that you need to hear?
I think for myself, I've been a single mom for the past 18 years, and the biggest thing that I would like to hear is what I see. It's not about what they say, it's about what they do. I mean, we work so hard as single mothers. We come home to dirty houses, dirty kitchens, dirty bedrooms, dirty bathrooms. If they say, I love you, it's their actions. They speak louder than words.
Oh, yeah, as a mom especially. Like, if you came home and your kids had done the dishes or cleaned the bathroom, that would let you know that they truly love and value you because they're meeting a need that maybe you're going to have to do. So your love language is probably acts of service.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same for if you're married or you have kids. When you see people doing things that you don't have to hound them about day in and day out, they're just doing it, you're like, yes, now I know that you truly do love me.
That's why Gavin and I, we refill Betty's tea. Whenever she's drinking tea, one of us, we have a signal. We look at each other, finger to the side of the nose, and it's like, okay, one of us better get her tea stout or she's about to explode.
Well, then why am I sitting here with a half-empty cup?
Because I'm talking to Rochelle. It's Rochelle's fault. I'm blinking twice. Help, save me. What is that thing as a mom that you need to hear, Ashley?
So it's going to sound kind of bad, but just that I'm not doing permanent damage to my children. Life is crazy. Life is busy. You know, did I lose my cool? Did I forget the homework? What is it that I did? I mess up every day, but I also pray over my kids every day.
I think that this is something women particularly struggle with because I think moms judge other moms as how they're raising their kids. Guys tend to be more free of that. Guys tend to be like, you know what? I think they're going to be fine. It's not a big deal. But moms obsess over, did I damage my kid? The reality is you're doing the best you can. You're praying over your kids and you're loving on them. You're not damaging them. You know, like this is, as a guy speaking, they're fine.
Well, the 5-year-old will go, Mommy, why you be mad at me? And I'm like, no, God, I'm not mad at you.
Well, because you're ungrateful and you should be paying rent. I'm 5. All right, maybe you are affecting them. What was that thing as a mom you need to hear, Kate?
So my kids are teenagers now, but I will never forget, I had 3 in diapers, and I remember walking through the grocery store. I probably looked like a hot mess, stressed out, and an older woman stopped and smiled at me, and she said, it gets easier. And those few words made my day. So I try to do that now when I see moms with young kids, just stop and say, it will get easier, I promise.
You know who needs to hear that on the show right now is Gavin for Bennett and Betty for dealing with me. So, Betty, it's going to get easier.
I don't know. I've been waiting 17 years, and it seems to only get harder. Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM. If it's trending, streaming, or starring, Betty Rock's got it. On The Rock Report.
My mom and I were just saying the other day, I hate how so many holidays come together all at the same time towards the end of the year. And especially I hate it for Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving just gets overlooked by Christmas.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is that forgotten holiday because you're looking forward to Christmas. And, I guess we got to make a turkey and see some people. But I love Thanksgiving because you don't have to give presents.
Right, exactly. Well, if you're wanting to celebrate the Thanksgiving holiday and rightly with the right movie, I found a list of the top 36 movies you can watch on Thanksgiving.
There are 36?
I thought you'd say the top 3 or something. Okay.
Right? Well, coming in on that list, I didn't even know this was a Thanksgiving movie, but it's Rocky. So,
What?
Yeah, I've never seen the movie, but
What, is it?
Yeah, so there's a famous line in it where he says, "To you, it's Thanksgiving. To me, it's Thursday."
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I guess he goes to a friend's house for Thanksgiving, and it didn't turn out well.
It feels like people talking about like Die Hard being a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
It feels
It's a reach.
in that realm.
It's a reach.
Yeah, I got to tell you, some of my Thanksgivings in the past have felt like Rocky.
One of my favorite Thanksgiving films, and that's a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving.
I can't cook a Thanksgiving dinner. All I can make is cold cereal and maybe toast.
All I can do is be completely uninteresting and not funny. I cannot stand Charlie Brown.
I think it's great. The synopsis of the movie is, with 2 Thanksgiving dinners happening at the same time, Charlie Brown decides to make new traditions with friends.
Oh, so good.
It's
All I
precious.
can do is be annoying.
And then a movie that was recently released, maybe a year or 2 ago, called Instant Family, starring Mark Wahlberg.
It's really good.
It's about a couple becoming parents overnight to 3 kids when their plans to adopt one child are messed up upon meeting her siblings, and they're in need of a home as well.
Thanks, Daddy.
I just got my first daddy.
Hey, honey, can I help you with anything?
Nope.
I saw this movie. I'd forgotten it was a Thanksgiving movie because I just really liked the movie, in general. And so that's good. Yeah, we need more Thanksgiving movies to come back. How come they don't have those for Hallmark Channel Thanksgiving? They go right from like Halloween to like it's a Hallmark Christmas.
You're right.
There's no Hallmark Thanksgiving.
You're right.
And they could just do the same movies. Because it's always the same plot. It's always the same everything.
Just change it from Christmas Village to like Thanksgiving Village.
Exactly.
They have like a turkey trot.
Yes, 100%.
You get it.
She marries a turkey farmer.
Yeah, 100%. This is so good. Now, there you go, Hallmark. You have the idea now. Run with it. So every year here at Way FM, we partner with Operation Christmas Child to send shoebox gifts and the gospel to kids all around the world. And they've been doing this since 1993. Over 220 million shoeboxes have been sent out from people just like you and me. And they've gone to like 170 countries. It's really an amazing thing to do and do with your kids. But we recently talked to a lady named Diowani who was as a kid got an Operation Christmas Child shoebox, and she grew up really poor in the Amazon. And I was curious what she remembered about the day that she got her box.
So I was 11 years old. I remember that when I was a child, I loved coloring and doing art. So I have this big desire in my heart to have really good quality markers. So one day I asked my mom if she could get those markers for me because I wanted to draw the perfect line in the paper. And she told me that she couldn't afford that because there were so many things happening at the same time. But she reminds me of this verse from the Bible that is in Psalms 37, verse 4, that says, "Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desire of your heart." So one day I was invited to go to this event for kids. There were so many kids with their families, and that's when I received my shoebox. I had no idea where my shoebox was coming from. I didn't know what was inside of the shoebox, but I was about to figure it out. So I remember I got my shoebox, and I started running to a corner and I started opening my shoebox. But for my surprise, when I was going through my shoebox really excited, I also received my really good quality markers.
Nice.
And that was the desire of my heart. I received all of the colors and they were my own.
I think that's cool though too, because even as a kid, it probably made you feel like God answered a prayer.
Yeah, and it helped me to understand that what the Bible says is true. He showed me that He cares for me, that He loves me, and that He knows everything about me, all of my desires.
And one of the cool things, in addition to packing toys and necessities, you can also include notes and pictures, and that is something that really moved Duwani even as a kid.
So what made my shoebox even more special is that I also received a picture and a letter. The picture was a little girl who was also around my same age, and that was special for me because I knew that there was someone, and it was a person who packed my shoebox. And it was special because how can someone pack a shoebox if you don't know that person, right? So it was like, how cool, how special, how beautiful this is. So I knew that I had a friend in the other side of the world somewhere with a beautiful heart.
What's really cool about Operation Christmas Child is the impact lasts way beyond childhood. And so coming up in 10 minutes with Duwani, we'll talk about how as an adult, the memory of her shoebox has even helped her grow in her faith now. And so we'll do that in 10 here on The Wally Show. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show, and every year my wife and I pack Operation Christmas Child shoeboxes, and we've done it since our daughter was little because I think it's a really good thing to do with your kids, but then even now that she's out of the house and as an adult, we still continue to do it. If you want to see the video we did this year, it's Wally Show. Just search that on Instagram or Facebook, and you can see that. My wife made an appearance and actually spoke. So anyway, it's a great way to share some joy and the gospel with kids that otherwise might not get either. And what's interesting is what an adult Duwani and what she's doing, packing shoeboxes for kids, because Duwani was a recipient of a shoebox when she was a kid, and now she's an adult, and it's like helped her grow her faith doing this now today.
But during that season, I was also feeling a little lost and without purpose. And I was like, God, I don't know what's going on in my life. You just changed all of my plans. But through that season, God started reminding me of that same verse. Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desire of your heart. And He was basically saying, Joanny, in the same way I was with you when you were a child, in the same way I saw your desires when you were a child, in that same way right now I see your desires. I see you are scared, you're afraid with so many things, but I still have a plan for your life. Just take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desire of your heart. And something I've been learning is that whenever you delight in Him, He changes your desires to be His desires.
There it is.
And then you start seeing life from a different perspective.
Every time I hear that verse from now on, I will always hear, take delight in the Lord. Like it will resonate with me for sure because of Duwani. And I was curious, as a child who got a shoebox, and now as an adult who sends them and tells people about Operation Christmas Child, why is it important for someone to take the time to pack a shoebox?
It is important because it's a calling that God is giving us to go and make disciples. And it's part of our lifestyle. We have to go and share about Him. And one of the ways on how we share about Him is by packing a shoebox. We can be a blessing to so many children around the whole world. A simple shoebox can make a huge impact in the life of so many children. And my story is just one of 200 million stories. There's so many stories. God is working. He won't stop. But the question is, would you like to be part of what He's doing?
Absolutely. And their goal is to send 12 million shoeboxes out this year. Like, that's just crazy.
That's awesome.
But it's cool.
That's 12 million kids.
Exactly. And like, I was at the dollar store buying stuff for our shoeboxes, and I met another family, and I see them kind of going around, and they were talking, and they have a list, and I'm like, I bet they're packing shoeboxes. So I stopped and I said, are you guys doing shoeboxes? She's like, yeah, we absolutely are. And the boys were running like crazy, running amok.
Of course.
The girl is putting everything in the shoeboxes perfectly.
Course she is.
You know, and that's kind of what Marty, my wife, and I, our video is. Again, if you want to check that out, you can check it out on Instagram by searching Wally Show or Facebook. Plus, it has information for you there about how to pack a shoebox, where to get information, because this is the collection week this week. And so we want to get as many of these shoeboxes sent out for these kids. If you want to find out more info, just SamaritansPurse.org. That's SamaritansPurse.org/OCC, or you can also check out wayfm.com as well. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. Betty Rock likes to help you out. She's a helper, and so she likes to find things that can make your life a little bit better. We call it the scoop, and she's the scoopiest. So what do you got the scoop on, Rock?
So I have a scoop on how to keep yourself from having a heart attack or a stroke.
Hey, I could use that. I was dizzy all day yesterday. Maybe this will help.
So,
my arm's hurting a little bit today.
Well, it's a simple solution, and it won't cost you a lot of money. It'll cost you time. Sleep
Is there
in.
exercise involved?
No, just sleep in.
That is not the scoop.
Yeah, it
There's
is.
no way.
No, it is the scoop,
We
Gavin.
can't.
It says if you sleep in till noon,
Whoa.
that studies show that
This is-
that your heart is healthier and you have less chance of having a stroke.
So cats never die of heart disease, obviously, or Betty. Because you're the only person I know that can sleep till noon.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that
There's
if
no
you
way.
have felt, and I have heard, Wally, you're going through your dizzy spells.
Yeah.
Gavin is always clutching his chest after he goes up a flight of stairs.
Yeah.
Like, if you're worried about your heart health, if you're worried about your health in general, I'm just here not to be so much of a first responder or a hero or a doctor, but just to tell you, if you're feeling like that, maybe you should put aside more hours to sleep.
Okay.
And that you'll be better off for it.
I don't see how sleeping is going to undo the Sonic that we've ingested over the years and clogged our hearts with.
Well, but if you're sleeping, you won't eat bad things.
Okay.
Sometimes when
Sleeping
I sleep
later, yeah.
sometimes when I sleep late, I skip a meal,
Okay.
so I am losing weight also.
There you go. Okay, there's your scoop.
This is killing two birds with one
No,
stone.
this is not.
Yeah,
yes,
this
it
is not.
is. It's a whole
Because
article. It
that's-
was on the news.
But I 100% believe it. But it's just like we're here at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Like
It's not an option for
I have
us.
church on Sundays.
Try it on Saturday.
One day.
One day.
One day's better than nothing.
You're not wrong.
He's like, I have a newborn too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gavin,
Tell
look,
your wife to
look.
take care of it.
Okay.
Just say this: Gavin's a goner. Like that's that's all we learned from
I'm
this
outta
scoop
here.
is that Gavin's a goner.
And now for some good news.
Uplifting Way FM. This here is the Wally Show with a little bit of good news. Giddy up, because the regular news can be a bit cantankerous, and so we like to find some stuff that feels a lot better than that. So, Gavin, good news, giddy up, go.
A guy named Dylan was driving home from work when he saw a house on fire, and then he kicked in the front door, which is something I feel like every guy dreams of doing.
I know, but I would try to do it, and I'm sure I would hurt my leg, and the door wouldn't open. Like, dadgummit.
And he got the owner of the house out, and a reporter asked him why he risked his life for a complete stranger. His answer was, why wouldn't he help a stranger?
There you go.
That's a
yeah.
good guy.
That's the right response. That's what heroes say, honestly. So, all right. There was a zoo in West Virginia that announced that an endangered black-footed ferret, that's kind of crazy, gave birth to 2 elderly babies. And you think, okay, well, that's okay, great. That's nature. It's not a big deal.
Sounds good.
But the big deal was that the mom was a clone born last year from a DNA from a ferret from the 1980s. What?
We can do that?
I didn't know we could, but apparently we can. How great is that? I cannot wait to see the implications of cloning in the future and the ethical and moral dilemmas that we're going to be in.
Would you clone yourself?
No, I don't want
But I
anybody
could see
to
people
do
doing that with their pets. Like if they really love their pets, they could clone their pet and be like, oh, well, there
I
goes
hope
the
it's
same thing.
I hope it starts there and maybe finishes there. Or maybe let you like clone organs if you need them for organ donation. Like that would be good.
Mm-hmm. My
Betty
turn?
Lou.
There's a woman named Sandy Flash, and she got to meet a little boy that she actually saved. She saved him by donating part of her liver. And she was donating part of her liver because her husband actually was saved. He got a new liver in 2022, and it inspired her to donate part of her own as a way of giving back. And the 1-year-old's name is Sonny, the little boy that she saved, and he's doing great.
Love that. Betty Rock got inspired. She had a health thing in her family and needed to get blood, and so you went and gave blood after that. Or you really love cookies and orange juice.
That too.
50-50.
It doesn't matter. I gave blood. Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.